Hello tribe, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all having a beautiful weekend. Today we are looking at what archetype wants to work with you. Either you can invite this energy or you can brush it off. This is completely up to you, but we're looking at this from a power point of view. If you implement this energy, you would be able to unlock some doors. Okay, this is gonna be a bit of a mysterious one, I'm sure. Remember that archetypes have light and dark aspects. Some people might recognize themselves being in light aspect, some people may recognize being in a dark aspect, and I'm gonna give you advice. So let's go. Pile number 1 is on your left, pile 3 is on the right, and I'll see you in timestamps. Hey group number 1 people, let's see what archetype wants to work with you. You have the Dead End. I don't think I've drawn this card before. I'm gonna be using Steampunk Tarot with it and we'll go from there. We also have the it's a very similar energy because I'm seeing this hand. We're seeing someone coming out of a darkness right here. She's also with one hand holding a curtain. So I do not know the meaning of the description of the book. We're gonna look at it in a minute, but I'm gonna interpret it first and see what I'm getting before we dive into it. This archetype invites you to come out of a cave, come out of a darkness. And this archetype also feels like it's telling me in order for you to recognize where to go next, you first experienced an unpleasant situation, or you were placed in a situation that felt like it's not enjoyable, that felt like you wanted out of it, and your archetype is saying there was a reason why we were in the darkness. Have you uncovered the answer yet? This archetype also suggests being more curious. Curiosity is the key. Curiosity will open the doors for you. You may have become, or you will become, much more sensitive to the touch because you're using different senses. One of your senses might be heightened in the presence of this archetype. You also have the Ace of Cups. Renewal. This archetype is here in order for you to seek for renewal. Renewal in your heart space, renewal in your relationships. Yeah, so this goes very well together with this archetype card, the Dead End. I'm thinking that I am in a dead end, but the reality is not that. The reality, what is being shown here, if I can be more curious to understand how to start walking, I will be able to unlock the Ace of Cups over here. I will be able to unlock a new start for myself. We also have at the bottom of a deck, again, hands, palms are being highlighted here. And in this particular deck, we are seeing a woman soothing, comforting a lion because its paw is injured. So maybe some of you, this is very specific. Sometimes when we get an injury, or we are being somehow stopped by our physical body, it happens for a reason, for us to take a minute to think things through, for us to stop running, for us to reevaluate our situation, because when we are so busy, we're not able to do so. So how do we approach this moment of, I don't want to call it stagnancy, but this moment of darkness, this moment of uncertainty? Dive deeper. Your cards are saying dive deeper. Let's look at the book. Let me get this out. So, when this archetype is light, acceptance, humility, relief, reverence for change. Exactly. We have change right here with the Ace of Cups, a fresh start. When this archetype sits in a dark aspect, it says inertia, stuckness, tension, unconscious gripping. And we see it right here with the Eight of Swords too. The closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. Contrary to what its name implies, the dead end is very much alive. It is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. You see, as planned. So as I gave you this example of injury, our body stops being maybe as capable as it usually is. Something was pre-planned in order for something else to happen. So this is very specific for some of you. This is definitely not all of your situations when it comes to an injury. Someone is watching this reading maybe whilst in bed. It is thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls. With every bramble, thorn, and stone, it simply states, no more, child. Right? So what you're being shown by this archetype is what is not needed anymore. What to stop doing or what to stop entertaining. How to invite change. You have reached the last page of this chapter. It is natural to resist its very resistance and struggle, even harder to make our way, to prove our point, to hold on to what was. In this way, we fight with life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the one you planned on walking through. So one door is about to close for you in order for a new to open. And the vision that I'm getting, someone is literally trying to open that door and trying to push it towards themselves so much that they even injure themselves. So something that you're trying to push to happen or entertaining a dead situation is not supposed to be entertained anymore. Let it die off. If you are honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. Do not resist any changes here. That's what you're being told. Be curious about what this dead end brings into your life next. But in order for you to find this, you gotta be curious. Be as a page. Pages are playful, pages are curious, pages are nosy. They wanna research, they wanna get to know new things. They want to see what this Ace of Cups is actually about. Okay? So let's see what this Ace of Cups is bringing for you if you don't resist this. Too many cards. But Sun card popped out. I saw it with the corner of my eye. What is this dead end bringing in? Shit, really? Of course. For some people specifically, and this is bringing a new sense of visibility. I don't know why I wanted to say it the way I said it, but that's what I'm getting. How I saw successful relationship, job, or my life situation versus how I see it after dead end archetype works itself is two different things. My perspective on it changes. For some of you, what this is hinting at, you may feel an urge to change something about your location or to change something about the way you live right now. About your domestic situation, about who you live with or who you planned to live with. There are changes happening in that aspect, okay? And those changes might come to you very unexpectedly. I feel like it may come through as an idea to go somewhere or as a visitation from someone else that sparks you an idea, okay? So I hope this made sense. This was a short and sweet one. Hopefully you have a great weekend. If you need extra content, I'll see you on the other side on Patreon. And for the rest of you, have a beautiful day. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 2 people. Let's see. What archetype do we have here for you that wants to work with you? Anima Mundi. Okay, we're gonna look at the book later down the line. I first off want to see what I'm getting intuitively with this card, and we'll look at the light and the dark aspects of this archetype. So some of you will find yourself being in a dark aspect, some of you will find yourself being in a light aspect. Light aspect is where the potential and strength is, okay? Let me pair this up with the Steampunk Tarot. Straight away, I don't know, I'm hearing generational wealth. This archetype wants you to look at generational wealth or generational pattern. We have the Lovers, we have the Page of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles once I split the deck. This archetype is currently helping you with relationship in your life. This could be a relationship with a partner, a crush, a friend, or relationship with, if you have, your child. What do we want to create, and can we create something together? What is the potential of this partnership? Why have we crossed paths? Can we build something together? This is purely what I was getting based on looking at the image and the tarot cards. Let's look at the actual meaning of this card. A lot of numbers, let me tell you. When this archetype is in light energy, tending to the sacred details of life. When dark, overwhelmed by the bigness of existence. The soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated. Multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied. Embrace. Okay, and nothing is denied, embrace. What I want to say, what this archetype is telling you, pile number 2, is to really look at differences of people, and instead of looking at as a bad thing, look at what two forces, two energies that are different, when they come together, what they can build. Because you have different skills, different knowledge, and teamwork would be highly appreciated right now. This archetype asks you to seek for diversity. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity, I said that, constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mass of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This archetype also wants you to implement both the science and the spirituality, okay? This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. This archetype has been sending you messages through sounds, music. Maybe you get a thought, but it's not in a thought form, as if you hear someone whisper something to you. It's been whispering, I don't know why I want to say secrets. Cosmic knowledge. Knowledge that comes from the source about humanity. So if any of these people watching this are creatives, I would say put it into work. put it in your craft. You are getting information from up there about the uniqueness of the world, of the universe itself, and you can create something with it. This archetype also helps you to be a little bit more unique, deeper, have a deeper relationship with your work. It asks you to look for that connection with your job and with people who you surround yourself with, to invite authenticity, and to seek okay, wait. I'm hearing to seek for chaotic structure because I'm seeing someone who's got a lot of belongings on the floor, and they're like, oh my god, I need to make sure everything is in its own place. But then they step back and they look at it as a piece of art, piece of installation, and you go, actually, it's kind of beautiful. I don't know why I'm getting this, but I look at it as a piece of installation. Like you see it in museums. I see the color of this dress going really well with this makeup box going together. It's very weird visions that I'm getting here, but with this archetype, there is something shifting with the way you see the world. And it's going to be very unique to you because the information that you get in from this archetype is unique to you. You may start feeling that you want to dress a little bit differently. You may want to express yourself a little bit more with your clothes. How you feel inwardly, you express it outwardly. And you may be also drawn to people who are very self-expressive too. But I'm seeing differences between you. I'm seeing one person who dresses very feminine and light, and another person who is a metalhead or a goth. And these two energies, that light and dark, just talking purely by the clothing, not light and dark aspects, it works very well together because it becomes the yin and yang sign and becomes balance. It is a very philosophical pile number 2, but maybe somehow that plays into your life. Maybe you're into reading books, maybe you are into writing books, maybe you're into philosophy yourself, and that's how you see this archetype working through you right now. Some of you might be seeking for partners that come from a different background, or friendships that come from completely different backgrounds than you are. Maybe you sensed your whole life that you're going to be with someone who is not from the same place, country that you are. And that would be right. Okay? That's what I have. Today it's short and sweet. It's weekend. I'm gonna go and swim, so hopefully do something nice for yourself too if you have this day off, and I'll catch you in the next one. More content on Patreon. Bye. Hey pile 3, let's see what archetype wants to work with you. Now, the archetypes have the light and the dark aspects in them. Some people might find themselves in the light aspect, some people may find themselves in the dark aspect. Light aspect is where the power lies, okay? Let's go. We have the empty room. I'm gonna pair this up with the Steampunk Tarot, and let's see. You know what, I want to say the dark aspect is not a bad aspect. I always say that we find a lot of answers in the darkness. Specifically in pile number 3, you probably noticed that yourself. During those hard times, you're able to uncover information that is very valuable to you. Or during those times of stagnancy, when you're being forced to contemplate, when you're being forced to stop and take a moment. And I feel like some people might be coming from the other pile, or you want to watch one other pile, because I said something very familiar in one other pile. You don't have to if you didn't feel it. Do not start thinking about other pile. We have the Four of Pentacles at the bottom. What this archetype wants to tell you here. First thing first, if anyone is going to be doing any magic, or if you're going to be doing some kind of work on your altar, make sure that the environment is clean. Say your altar is good, it's organized, it's clean, but behind you there is a mess. It's saying no, that's not how we do it. We have to respect the space where we are doing some sort of work in, okay? That's for someone very specific here. You know if it's you. Otherwise, it can become a mess. You're inviting that mess in your practice. Now, what I'm getting is this archetype wants you to write down the ideas or thoughts that you have when you are on your own. When you are in a place in the environment that is very intimate to you, or you have a very strong connection to, it doesn't have to be indoors only. This archetype might invite you to invest a little bit more time in what you want to create, in what you want to manifest. Invest more time in you. Especially when everything is completed for the day, when everything is done for the day, have enough time for yourself. This archetype is also hinting at the time when you're going to be surprised because one of your manifestations that you have been working on will be coming through. But you will be surprised because it might not come the way that you planned it, but it will come your way. For example, you ask for more money for that thing that you want to get or that thing that you want to do. You may think that you're going to get a bonus, or you're going to get money, I don't know, playing lottery, or you're going to take extra shifts in your work, and then you're going to work hard, you're going to be recognized, whatever the case. And for example, the way you get more money is because you have to quit somehow unexpectedly the existing job, and then you get an opportunity for a better paid job. So it might not be how you expected it, but what you wanted, you are getting. So expect the unexpected. This archetype might be inviting people to set an intention, what they're trying to manifest. Okay, if this hasn't happened to what I just told, this archetype wants you to sit with yourself, because it's saying now is the right time for you to work your magic, work with your energy, set intentions, okay? Especially when it comes to your sense of security and safety. How can I become more secure? How can I become more safe? Now, let's look at the book, what this card actually means. I read it together with tarot. Have downloads. Let's go. When this archetype is in light, it says spaciousness, potential, possibility. Everything is possible in this room, right? You can create anything that you want with this space. You see all the possibilities. Maybe other people see it as being contained instead of possibility to create your own interior, or see this as being claustrophobic. So depends, the perception depends here. When dark, addiction, instability, more for more's sake. I would say greed too. The vortex, the abyss, the nothing. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal an all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. So for some people, what you're being asked to do, what this archetype maybe is hinting already. Remember how I started with the example of an altar and a mess behind someone? Declutter your space. Someone has a lot of things that they don't actually need, but they just have it because of having it. Or they're seeking to buy more things just to have those things. This archetype wants you to simplify your life a little bit more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. That is a very important sentence here. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. Definitely. Let me see. Let me just look at these cards if there's anything else that I'm getting with this. Yeah, for a lot of people right here, you're being asked to look at this card of the empty room. What was the first thing that you got when you looked at this card? What was the first thought or feeling? That is going to answer a lot of questions for yourself. How you view this empty room is what you think you are capable of. For others, decluttering of things that are not needed in your space is going to allow space for the new things to come in. So I hope this made sense. This was an interesting one. I think the most interesting one. And it's also interesting that you've chosen this stone that is very glittery. It looks like a piece of gold almost. And what it said in the book, having more for the sake of having more, something along the lines of that. I'm also hearing not all that glitters is gold. So there is something that this archetype is able to change about your perception of what you think is truly valuable and what is actually valuable. What we are putting this money away for, or what we are gathering resources for, what are we going to do with it, and what is the true value of it? These are the questions that this archetype is asking you. It's like a review that it wants you to do on your resources, on what you have around you. What actually matters to you. Have more of that. Invite more of that. Ask for more. Set intentions. This reminds me of a situation where someone says, you know what, I want to earn 10K a month, for example. What is the reasoning behind that 10K? What do you want to do with it? So some people would say, oh, I would travel more often. I would maybe spend more time with people that I love because maybe they live far away and I'd be able to afford that. Maybe I want to improve my household. So the core need is either spending more time with the loved ones, or create insecurity. I feel like in this pile number 3, you're being asked to dive deeper beyond what you are trying to manifest. What is the feeling that that thing or that person is going to provide? And is there something that you can provide for yourself too? So dive deeper. If you need more content, I have Patreon. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Until the next one. Ciao.